Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dig into the fine print of corporate America so you don't have to. Today we're diving deep into some fund reports. Now, I know what you're thinking, how thrilling can a semi-annual shareholder report really be? Well, let's just say that sometimes the most interesting stories are hidden beneath the surface, especially when money is involved. We are dissecting the Columbia Strategic California Municipal Income Fund's semi-annual report. Think of it as a health check for your investment, showing how well your money is performing and where it's being used. In this report, the main headline is what is happening with your investment in 2025, and is it really being used to build infrastructure as they state? Let's uncover the real story. Before we delve into this financial rabbit hole, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come join the discussion. Scroll semi-annual financial statements and additional cat information or sexy-worthy where infinange a camd exage forting. It is the boring details that make sure someone else is not pocketing your returns. Let's start with the portfolio, which lists all assets with the most important info. It has things like floating rate notes, which are at 0.97%. So it looks like most of your money is being invested in municipal bonds. These are at 97%. So it looks like most of your money is being invested in municipal bonds. As to floating rate notes, are debt that changes where the interest rate can go up or down with the markets. Municipal bonds are the bread and butter of this fund. These bonds at 97.1% are basically loans to cities or governmental bodies. What's important here is to see what those entities are that are being supported by the fund. Check where the municipal bonds are really being spent, first going to airports at 3.2%. This is pretty standard financing for airport improvements. Wow, 10.6% for school is quite notable, more than the airports. Let's see which charter schools are being supported by your investments. Here we have the California School Finance Authority refunding revenue bonds classical academies Oceanside project. So your money is being lent out to a private academy. Whether this makes sense for the people is up for discussion. Next, something most people don't think much about waste product disposal. This is a smaller allocation sitting at 1.4%. Here we have Republic Services, Inc. This company is a big player in the waste management industry. At 2%, the fund supports higher education, making it slightly smaller than the waste management initiatives. Again, the bond is for a private religious university. Hospitals get a big chunk of the fund's resources at over 12%, a large use of the funds. We have here a PIH health facility. Here is a Clinkers Del Camino Rail, Inc., but seems to be a non-profit group of facilities. Next on the list is the Harbor Regional Center project. The report mentions Sierra Kings Healthcare District. Local stuff is not taking up nearly as much as expected at 0.6%. About 12% of the fund goes into supporting multifamily homes and apartments. California Community Housing Agency revenue bonds are here, but we can't see how they are used. Another one is the Hastings Campus Housing Finance Authority in this report. Only a small fraction goes for the production of power to the cities with 0.7%. It seems that funds are being allocated into Puerto Rico pre-PA, but this has been a topic of dispute since the government seems unable to manage this sector successfully. Other bond issue doesn't provide an explanation, but hovers around the same amount for 0.7%. The Port of Los Angeles is benefiting with some of the fund's allocation with around 0.2%. Prep school means it is more private education that benefit by 0.9%. For example, Castadea School Foundation Project, it's unclear how these have anything to do with the public. Prepaid gas gets a surprisingly large chunk. This seems to be the funding and construction of gas infrastructure to support energy. The Green Bonds Clean Energy Project helps this type of project be attractive for these funds. A small part is being sent to refunded entities at 2.2%. But let's dig into this. What does refunded mean here? It turns out it is for bonds being paid ahead of maturity by entities like California School Finance Authority River Springs Charter School Project. Resource recovery is an accounting rounding error at 0%. A considerable percentage, around 6%, goes into senior living. The funds mention Episcopal Communities and Services. Is that a religious care facility? They go into California Statewide Communities Development Authority refunding revenue bonds, American Baptist Homes West. A significant percentage goes to backing sales tax revenue bonds, which is more or less gambling on citizens spending more, and so they need to support citizens' consumption. Again, money flowing to Puerto Rico's Commonwealth. Only 0.5% is going to tax-related allocations. Bakersfield Redevelopment Agency gets some funding. State-allocated projects account for only 0.4%, but at least this is somewhat for the public sector. The California State Public Works Board are part of these funds. Again, for state allocations, a larger but still small amount is at 4.2%. All bonds from the state of California. Still 2.2% is used to try to get money from tobacco sales that might happen. Yes, really, your investments are probably also linked to deaths. The funds are part of California County Tobacco Securitization Agency in bonds. The report also includes Turnpike Beverage Toll Road, plus Riverside County infrastructure. Finally, only 2.5% for water and sewer. Metropolitan Water District of Southern California helps allocate these resources. Now let's see if all the money is where it needs to be with the official statement of financial position. Okay, digging into the numbers. Total assets are sitting at around $313 is $7 million. Class A are showing net assets here of around $201 million with $26 per share. Class C at $11.6 million. And finally, the institutional class at $82.5 million. So where did all that money go? Here is the report on how they did. First, they earned a total income of $7 million across the investments. But then they spent more than half for their management fees, $1.1 million. Then the fund actually lost over $3 million with unrealized losses, resulting in a decrease of over $6 million in assets for investors. Finally, $5.8 million are being returned back as dividends. So the net assets went from $339 million to the ending $312 million. Now we go into what you can expect per share given these losses. A 6-month comparison here shows the net asset value started at $27.07. However, they give dividends of around 0.7, meaning all investments is mostly the same value as before at $26.09 per share. The total return loss hovers around 2% chinned. Alright, that's our breakdown of Columbia Strategic California Municipal Income Fund. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the fund's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.